So Mecca was very prominent. It was a very important city. And they came to do the Hajj in the city of Mecca. Now what happened is, and we'll conclude with this, some regional areas at the time, they grew jealous of Mecca. All these tribes, they're going to Mecca. And when you go to the Hajj, you spend money, right? So they realized, you know what? Let's make our own Kaaba. There was a king, a ruler in Yemen, south of Mecca, by the name of Abrahah. Abrahah was a Christian ruler who was dispatched by the Roman Christian emperor because the Christians were persecuted in Yemen. In a long story, he became the ruler. Najashi, the just ruler of Abyssinia, had asked Abrahah to go to Yemen to save the Christians. He did that, but then he took power. And then he started his own, persecution. Abrahah realized, these Arabs, backward Arabs, they have this Kaaba. Why don't I make something fancier than the Kaaba? So he built the fanciest, most beautiful house of worship in Yemen, which was supposed to compete with the Kaaba. Is it still there? No, it's been destroyed and demolished. So he created that, and he invited all nations, come and do Hajj here. People didn't listen to him. Most people were still going to Mecca, to that humble looking Kaaba, and they would just do the Hajj there. He got really upset. But then, what really, caused him to explode was that some silly Arabs, they went into that temple that he made, and they desecrated it. Some hadith say they burned some places of it. Some say they defecated in it. Abrahah became furious. He's like, you do that to my house of worship, I'm going to destroy the Kaaba. So he mobilizes a huge army towards Mecca, and he brings elephants with him as well. Remember, his origin was, he came through Abyssinia, so he probably brought those, big African elephants. And they marched towards Mecca. A messenger came to Abdul Muthalib, the grandfather of the Prophet. This was before the Prophet was born. He came to Abdul Muthalib and he told him, look, Abrahah has mobilized a huge army and they're coming to Mecca to destroy the Kaaba. Just know that. Abdul Muthalib, he meets Najashi and also Abrahah, and he makes one request. Because what he did, Abrahah, he had sent some of his army members. They went and they looted the people of Mecca. They looted their camels, their precious belongings. Abdul Muthalib had 200 camels. Remember, one camel back then was very expensive. It was very expensive. So 200 camels is like everything that Bani Hashim literally owned. Abdul Muthalib goes to the king and he complains. They tell him, what's your complaint? They thought he's here to negotiate, don't desecrate the Kaaba, this is the house of God. He didn't mention the Kaaba. He told them, I'm here, give me my 200 camels back. Abrahah, according to one historical account, he's like, I had respect for you, Abdul Muthalib. I've heard about you, even looking at your glorious face, I had a lot of respect for you. But now that you came and you asked for your camels and you didn't even tell me to not destroy the Kaaba, I've changed my opinion on you. What did Abdul Muthalib tell him? He made his famous statement. He told him, I am the Lord or the owner of the camel, and the Kaaba, the house, has its own Lord. Abdul Muthalib was inspired by Allah. Now, whether through divine inspiration, through revelation, he was inspired by God that God will protect the Kaaba. Don't do anything. God will protect the Kaaba. So his army marches towards Mecca with those elephants. Abdul Muthalib told the people of Mecca, go and hide. Let's go in these valleys and mountains and hide, and let's see what happens. As they go into those valleys and caves and they're hiding, the army of Abrahah is now reaching the Kaaba. The people of Mecca, they see a black cloud coming. They tell Abdul Muthalib this black ominous cloud is coming. He's like, okay, that's a good sign. Allah is responding. So when those soldiers gather, it turns out that this black cloud was not a cloud. It was small birds called Ababil in Arabic. Small birds, each one carrying 3 stones. 2 with its claws and 1 with its beak. 3 stones. Tens or hundreds of thousands of them came and they rained down these stones on Abrahah and the elephants and the soldiers. Now the elephants, the hadith says, they refused to go to Mecca. Abrahah would push them, they would refuse. But when he would turn them towards Yemen, they would quickly want to move. Subhanallah. Even the elephants, knew something was going to happen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decimated them. And we have Surah Al-Fiil. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ. Do you not see what your Lord did with the people of the elephant? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this short chapter how He destroyed them. So this year was so significant. It was such a big victory for the family of Bani Hashim, for the Arabs who want to defend the Kaaba, that it was known to be Amil Fiil, the year of the elephant. Because remember, back then they didn't have calendars, year so and so. They did not have years for them to document their events. They would go by major events. So that year came to be known as the year of the elephant. And that was the year that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi was born. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala.